you imagine going through struggles so scarring that they could drive you insane? In the next hour, we will be speaking to Denver, Paul D., and Sethe of 124 Bluestone Road. We will travel deep into the minds of these individuals and find out just exactly what made them get to their breaking point. Is it their trauma, the result of a ghostly manifestation, or simply post-traumatic stress disorder from horrors of slavery? Stay tuned. Our first session is with Denver.
So what were you doing yesterday?
Well,
What were you doing a year ago? What were you doing 5 years ago?
I think that was actually the time when
I conclude that you suffer from schizophrenic activity due to the fact that you have been isolated for the majority of your life and you just don't go out ever.
But she's real.
She's not.
She's real.
No, she's not.
our next session is with Paul D.
I understand you don't talk a lot because of the iron bit that was placed in your mouth while you were asleep.
Yeah.
What did you see and feel when you first entered 124?
Red. Evil.
Do you think I would have the same reaction if I walked into 124?
Of course.
Why don't we go take a visit to the house and see what our reactions are? Is this it?
Yeah. Red.
Where?
Everywhere.
There's no red. And
Red.
There's nothing red.
There's nothing red.
Due to our session, and based on your short, vague answers and your speech, I do conclude that you suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder from the events described and through everything you've experienced.
Okay.
And our final session is with Sethe.
I'm going to start off by showing you a series of pictures, and you're going to tell me how they make you feel. The first picture is of a plantation.
That reminds me of Sweet Home.
You animal!
The second picture is of a white dress.
Oh my goodness. Baby sucks!
The last picture is an image of an infant. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
My baby beloved, don't you see her? Don't you see her? Didn't you see her?
See who?
She was right next to me, my baby.
Your
Beloved. My baby. She was here.
We have concluded that due to your reactions to the images shown and due to the flashbacks you have told and described to us that you are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from going through slavery and from murdering your child. Post-traumatic stress disorder, more commonly referred to as PTSD, is a mental condition suffered by those who have encountered terrifying events. The mere experience or witnessing of a scarring event can trigger this condition, causing a person to have uncontrollable thoughts about the experience, flashbacks, nightmares, and can even cause the person to suffer from severe anxiety. Those who suffer from this condition have difficulties coping and adjusting to their world after the event, for PTSD symptoms interfere with the human's ability to function. Symptoms may begin within 3 months after the traumatic experience. In some cases, symptoms may not appear until years after the event. The symptoms that may occur are grouped into 4 types: intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, or changes in emotional reactions. Sethi's constant talking about the past and her inability to let go of her past deeds display how she is suffering from PTSD. She refuses to live in the present, choosing to keep memories alive by constantly speaking about her baby's ghost. She avoids associating herself with society as to avoid further questioning on her state of mind. She seems to display no hope for a bright future. Because she is known to have lived a terribly brutal life as a slave, her traumatic life experiences definitely have had an impact on her development of the disorder. Her personality and characteristics display the symptoms shown by people who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. The amount and severity of the trauma Sethi has gone through is to blame for her disorder. Similarly, Paul D's traumatic life experiences can also be the cause for his diagnosis. His time at Sweet Home and in prison were scarring and caused him to lose all feelings of life and passion in his life. This can be characterized as both a negative change in thinking and a change in emotional reaction, both of which are symptoms of PTSD. To conclude, the strange events both Sethi and Paul D seem to be witnessing can be justified by their diagnoses of suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder due to their harsh life experiences.
Schizophrenia is a severe brain disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. This disorder can result in hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior due to the disruption of the unusual balance of emotions and thinking. This disorder, a chronic condition that is a result of a combination of genetics and environment and requires lifelong treatment, can cause the following symptoms: visual hallucinations and delusions, as previously stated, disorganized thinking and speech, depression, lack of motivation, and reclusiveness. Those who suffer from the condition tend to have trouble being social. Denver's isolation from society, her inability to socialize, her accounts of hearing and seeing the ghost, and her association with Sethi and Paul D are clear indications of her schizophrenia. In addition, due to the fact that Denver has spent nearly her whole life with two people who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, Sethi and Paul D, it can be concluded that her environment and upbringing have strongly affected her diagnosis. The strange events Denver has experienced, along with the strange noises she has heard and the peculiar things she has seen, can all be justified by her diagnosis of suffering from schizophrenia.
After the psychoevaluations of our 3 patients, the doctor has concluded that Sethi, Denver, and Paul D are all suffering from a severe mental breakdown, due in part to their isolation from the rest of the townspeople, and in part to the trauma inflicted upon Sethi and Paul D at Sweet Home. Beloved is not really there at all. Thank you.